I met Ann West. She told me that she knew a security officer there. His name was Thomas Costello. Supposedly he escaped with 7 minutes of videotape, 25 black and white photos, and about 100 pages of information on what was going on there. He contacted Ann, who was a longtime friend of his, and said, what I want you to do is bury this information. I'll contact you every 4 months. If I miss 2 meetings in a row, then I want you to take that information and expose what's going on there. When she was shown the photos before he put it in the box, he asked her to make some drawings. And these are the original pencil drawings that she made. What's underground has 7 levels. There's all kinds of experiments going on. Womb submerged in sort of yellow liquid, looks thicker than water. Dozens of creatures in each womb. Can't count the tanks. 3 fingers, 2 toes, not human.
The base is underneath Archuleta Mesa. Supposedly it consists of 7 levels, each level increasing in security as you go lower and lower. The information that was provided to us by Thomas Costello gave us very complex floor plans that had been drawn out. Here we're looking at the first level of Dulce. The central hub here is security, which extends all the way down. It's the hub of these concentric ring circles. Each area is connected by corridors and passageways. Level 2, they strip you down and take all your personal clothing. They weigh your body. They take biometric scans of you and everything. And so in case you're trying to smuggle something out, they know exactly what you ate. They know exactly how much you should weigh. They know if you have something in your stomach. They're frightened that it would be discovered that humans were being experimented on for genetic research. Level 3, we have the computer bank area. This is where they contain all command, control, communications, and intelligence. Well, it starts getting more interesting at level 4. Here's where they get some of the more exotic research. They've studied the human aura, all aspects of telepathy, hypnosis, dreams. They call level 6 Nightmare Hall. You have aliens experimenting on humans, humans experimenting on aliens. They feel that you can sacrifice the one for the many. There's nobody safe. This is where all the genetic experimentation is occurring, where they fuse animals and humans together. About 2 or 3 years ago, a mouse with a human ear growing out of its back. Do you remember seeing that? Remember, the military-industrial corporate complex is actually about 30 to 40 years ahead of us. So that means that at the time when these came out, chances are they were successfully fusing humans and other animals together as a precursor to what we're seeing now. The human test subjects are housed in level 5, they're taken in, the experiments are done on level 6, then they're transported to level 7. This is the horrific area. Guards, like Thomas said, that they had the cages. They were told not to talk to anybody. These were half men, half other animals, reptilian humanoid beings, the small grays. When you absorb all of the Dulce information, you have to ask yourself, do you dare risk doing research on mice where if you could use a human being, you could advance your research by 30 years? Back in June 11th, 1972, in the LA Times, the lead physicist for the RAND Corporation, he said that in 1972, the government had the technology to excavate tunnels across the United States and put maglev trains in that were capable of doing 10 to 14,000 miles an hour. Now, this is not science fiction. We have the capability to do it. These are U.S. patents by Los Alamos National Laboratories talking about thermonuclear boring machines that melt through rock just like you're taking a knife through butter. People keep thinking rock is hard, you have to break it down. That's what we've been misled to believe when it comes to tunneling. The actual boring tips get superheated and they melt through solid rock. There's no excavation of materials that are needed. The rock penetrates, cracks, and presses liquid molten glass up through a lining all the way around. In the early 1970s, there are plans for a network of underground tube shuttles. There are tube shuttle systems leading out of the base.
In '79, the Greys took over our scientists. Delta, FBI, CIA, the security force that's in the mountain itself. They went down to get the scientists, and a firefight occurred. From 62 to 72 bodies were pulled out of there. We went onto the reservation. Out of my peripheral vision, I see the squad car pull up. He said to me, what are you looking at? I said, the Archuleta, and I just bluntly looked at him and said, were you here in '79 when they dragged the bodies out of the Archuleta? He looks me dead in the face and says, yes, but we're not allowed to talk about it.
There are terrestrial reptilians down there, and there are gray aliens down there. and there are humans who are willingly helping to perform experiments on other humans. Extraterrestrial visitors that are working with our government.
The Dulce papers surfaced in the 1980s, and they documented the levels of experimentation going on at that secret base. They also talked about a fight describing the different types of experiments going on the different levels at Dulce. And he's confirming exactly what Thomas Costello said, that on levels 6 and 7, that's where some of the darkest experimentation is going on. John Lear showed me his drawings of the Costello photographs in which there were body parts in vats of morphed human beings in cages, a humanoid embryo growing inside a flask. There's experimentation with human beings.
Correct.
There are aliens who are living at Dulce.
Correct.
And we are working with the aliens at Dulce.
Correct.
Hired New Mexico State police officer. Gage investigated cattle mutilations 20 years ago, in which cattle, seemingly healthy, are killed, and then the soft tissue is excised from their body.
In my profession, you have to focus on physical evidence. And the physical evidence that we found doesn't come from outer space. Gas masks, monitoring instruments, radar shaft, and helicopter activity. But I found out they were coming in marking the cattle ahead of time, and then later on they hit him with a tranquilizer, and then they take the lymph nodes out of it. Then they would take more stuff out to kind of confuse people.
We've seen actual photos of the strangest kind of entity I've ever seen in my entire life. A fetus in the womb of a mutilated cow, but it's not a cow fetus. What is it? Is there some strange genetic experimentation going on in Archuleta? Is there interbreeding of species going on and incubation inside cows, which is why they're mutilating this cattle?